everybody, welcome back to Your Full Crew. We are in the Petro Metro in Houston, Texas at the Energy Drone and Robotics Coalition Summit. This is the 9th annual, and today we are here kicking it off with our sponsor, Flyability. This is Junio Palumba, so welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, Don. It's a pleasure to be here.
And Junio was on our Dawn of Autonomy, gosh.
Yeah, a couple of months ago.
Yeah, so if you missed that, go back and check it out. Great stuff. We also did an article on Autonomy Global from that. But Junio, tell them a little bit about yourself and Flyability.
Yeah, so I'm the managing director for Flyability Inc. I've been with the company for about 8.5 years now. I spend about 50% of my time between the US in Denver, where we have our office, and Switzerland, where is the company headquarters. US is our largest market by far. We have a great team here in Denver. We're actually recruiting, so look out for those jobs ad on LinkedIn. Very happy to be here. This is one of those few events that you absolutely cannot miss if you're in the drone industry. It's one of those must attend, and very happy to be here. And once again, we appreciate the opportunity of being on your show.
Well, thank you so much. And by the way, of course, we've got, if you haven't noticed, we've got a drone behind us. Tell us about this drone. What is it?
Well, the Helios 3 is the gold standard for confined spaces inspection. So this baby has already got about 3 years on its back, but we keep improving it and making it better. Last year we launched the UT sensor for non-destructive testing. We got a gas sensor on it, we got a radiation sensor on it, and we got a couple of big news coming up in the next couple of months. So you might want to watch this space. Yes.
Stay tuned. All right, so you all are like a staple at the show, honestly. You have an amazing party every year with MFE Solutions, which I love. So you've been here before. What is different this year, would you say, in terms of maybe the technology or like the vibe than other years?
Actually, I've been pretty impressed by the consistency of the show.
All right.
There's definitely a couple of newcomers, but I think it's one of those shows where if you're not there, you're missing out, and people will notice it. So it's actually very interesting to see how there's consistently the same companies, which means that the industry is stable and possibly growing.
Yeah.
With all the unpredictability and the uncertainty in the market, I think that's a very good sign that the same companies are here, they're willing to invest and they're willing to grow. At the end of the day, Houston is really where the drone game is played the most.
Yeah.
We're really in the belly of the beast, so if you're not here, you're missing out. So it's very good to see that EDRC is capable of maintaining the same cost and quality of the show. Some amazing talks, some amazing speakers, very good representation across the board, OEM, inspection companies, asset owners, so really happy with that.
That's awesome, awesome. All right, so what's next for you guys? You said you have some announcements. I know you can't give the big reveal here, but like, where else are you going to be, or where can people be looking to find out this news that you're talking about?
Well, keep checking our website. Our LinkedIn page is constantly fresh with content, new videos, new applications. There is an amazing one that was posted recently by a very famous potato company, in which they're using the thermal camera of the drone to spot if the potatoes are actually rotting or not.
Oh my gosh.
Who would have thought that, right? Like,
that is cool.
Yes, it's really cool. So keep checking our LinkedIn page, and you can find us at CUAV coming up in September. That's going to be one of the big reveals coming up, and otherwise, see you next year at EDRC for sure.
Woohoo! Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Don.
Thank you for sponsoring the stream and making it possible.
Always a pleasure.
That's, by the way, how I get out to these places. Otherwise, I'd be poor. Like, this helps support my travel, and so I really appreciate you.
It's much appreciated, the opportunity to speak to such a educated audience and educated speaker.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to grab that mic, and we are going to swap in MFE Solutions. Chris Fonseca is coming on down. All right, so Chris, here he comes, grabbing a chair. All right, so Chris, first of all, tell him a little bit about yourself.
I'm Chris. I'm the product marketing specialist with MFE Inspection Solutions.
Okay, excellent. And MFE, what does MFE Inspection Solutions do?
So we basically bridge the gap between manufacturers and also in various industries. So for 30 years, we've done inspections with non-destructive testing, inspection equipment, and about 10 years ago, we got into drones, and 5 to 6 years ago, into ground robotics. And since then, we actually have a brand of our own payload systems for ground robotics and drones for optical gas imaging.
Okay, so are you guys like a solutions provider, like a drone service provider, or like you sell these solutions to people?
So we actually
do a little both?
We'll rent we'll rent some of the inspection technology or advanced inspection technologies to customers.
Yeah.
And for like more advanced data acquisition and reporting tools and systems, just more advanced systems in general.
Yeah.
We do sales of that, but we also do repairs, calibration, and provide training in our Pasadena office. We actually have a massive training center for drones, for ground robotics, for thermal imaging and optical gas imaging, as well as positive material identification with XRF analyzers.
Well, I learned something already. I mean, I see you guys at all of these shows. You all are a staple here at Energy Drone. I know Flyability's in your booth. You guys are sharing this booth. You share the happy hour. You run it every year. It's amazing. Everybody loves it. So tell me a little bit, as you've been kind of walking around, what is kind of new and interesting that you've seen this year, maybe that you haven't seen in terms of technology or partnerships or anything that comes to mind?
Well, I've got to tell you, visually, the Halo fans or the fan holograms or whatever that you've been seeing around.
Those
are so cool.
Yeah.
I really like how it shows the company brand and
in the booths, like the displays of like holograms.
Yes. And I noticed that there's a lot more ground robotics. As well as a humanoid robot.
Good point.
I think that was Unitree that brought that. But when I first came to this quite a few years ago, it was nothing but Boston Dynamics spots walking around. And now you're starting to see a lot of other competitors with similar robots, some of very different use cases.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah.
So how can people learn more about MFE solutions or like find you to talk to you about what you do?
Go to mfe-is.com, check out our website. We have a blog on there, news information, as well as infographics that give people better visual representation as to what type of submersible ROV systems would be best for what solutions, as well as drones, or using drones for inside ultrasonic inspections and outside ultrasonic inspection, so confined space so we have a breakdown on all of that, as well as so we have the infographics, and on top of that we also have guides that people can use.
Okay, and in terms of what's next, like a show where people might be able to find you guys, commercial UAV, or you guys go to that or something else this year?
I wasn't at commercial UAV. I'm not sure if we were there or not. I only go to so many of these.
Yeah,
but we
true.
do have a list of all of our events on our website.
Okay, perfect.
So all of our trade shows coming up.
All right.
And then if you sign up for our newsletter, you get up-to-date information on all of the latest advancements in technology that we offer.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It was great to meet you. All right, I'll grab that mic, and we're going to swap out. Sean Gare from Energy Drone is going to be next. So this is the man of the hour. He's running this amazing event. It is in its 9th year. And here he comes. Sean is a friend to the full crew. He's a friend to the Dawn of Autonomy and Autonomy Global. You are a media partner with us and have just been on the Dawn of Autonomy last month. So, Sean, you, in your opening remarks at this event, said that this has grown, that you had 25% more booths this year, and also more sponsors than in previous years, which frankly is amazing in the current environment. So that's a testament to your leadership. Tell them a little bit about EDR and about this show.
Sure. Thanks, Don. I appreciate it. Love being with you anytime we can in any one of your awesome channels. So, yeah, we were really fortunate to be able to grow this year in all of our categories: attendance, number of asset owners, number of folks that we were able to have showcase here. And I think really I appreciate what our team has been able to do, but it's the industry. Honestly, the energy industry, the adoption rate on drones, robotics, and data, everybody has been going forward, I think, at a much more rapid rate than in the past. And that adoption has allowed for more people to participate. So we're excited about it. We're now about 20,000 folks in the community globally, and a little over 208 energy companies that we work with across utilities, oil and gas, pipelines, critical infrastructure.
Yeah.
So everybody we want to be in the Big Ten.
And I was going to say, I heard an asset owner walking the floor and saying, quote, "I'm like a kid in a candy store right now." And this is why you have people showing here, because Chevron, Shell, BP, Suncor, you name it, they are here. They're walking the floor and looking at the tech that they can use in their refineries, in their power plants, right? All of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, what you were talking about earlier about it being interesting times that we're living in, people are really wanting to double down on making sure, do they have the right partners? How is their supply chain set up?
How can they save money?
Exactly. How can they be more efficient, more productive, cost savings? And those solutions are available, and they want to be able to connect with the vendors and the solution providers to ensure they're able to continue their operations regardless of how things change or don't change in the future.
Yeah, so next year, June 22nd, did I see?
We are 1 week later because we heard the crowd about starting on Father's Day and ending right before Juneteenth to get people home for that holiday.
Yeah.
So next year we're going to move 1 week back. So it'll be our 10th anniversary, which is going to be awesome.
So mark your calendars now. Make sure you're coming to Houston next summer. But in the meantime, you got so much else going on. Tell them how they can learn more about EDR and how they can tap into all the things you do.
Sure. So similar to yourself, we have multiple channels. So if you go to edrcoalition.com, you find all of them. So these sessions that are happening, you're going to see those available. You're going to be able to check out our YouTube channel, our weekly newsletter, our LinkedIn, which is daily, posting about new projects, new tech, new updates that are specific to the energy industrial industry, as well as our events and our brand new EDR Connect, which we're rolling out for membership so that people can connect on a regular basis.
And, we talked about that on the Dawn of Autonomy. We have an article about that on Autonomy Global. So check those out if you haven't read or watched those. And in the meantime, thank you, Sean. This is a great event. Really appreciate you, as always.
Thank you, Don. Really appreciate it as well. Cheers.
All right, cheers.
Bye-bye.
And we'll go ahead and swap out here. We have got David Cole. Now, David came all the way from the land down under. You'll tell right away when you hear his cool accent. David from flyfreely.io. Did I get that right?
That's correct.
Okay, amazing. So I met this gentleman at Exponential a couple weeks ago. He was actually at my Law Tech Connect, came up to me and said, "Hey, I'd love to work with you maybe and do some things." So here we are, and you've been speaking all over the place at this event.
Yeah, very lucky.
Tell them about Fly Freely, what you do, and we'll go from there.
Awesome, thanks Dawn for the invite. Yeah, so I'm David Cole, co-founder, CEO of Fly Freely. So Fly Freely is a drone management platform, so we're very much focused on the operations, compliance and fleet management aspects of drone operations, really trying to help customers scale their drone programs and really facilitate the ability to perform more complex operations. So that's what we're sort of bringing from our experience in Australia. We've got a long history helping companies do that, and really now trying to bring that expertise into the US market.
Now you're in a lot of different places, obviously, but North Dakota, there's a connection there?
Yeah, so really starting to learn the different sort of ecosystems in the US market, and yeah, it's been incredibly impressed by the North Dakotan crew, shall we say?
Yeah, absolutely.
huge proponents of UAS. Even the political leaders there have an intimate knowledge of the technology, which unheard of.
That's true. That's a great point.
So to get that is fantastic. So they've been incredibly supportive, helping us and guiding us. So yeah, where we can, we try to also help in return.
Yeah, so David, by the way, was part of Law Tech Connect on the Global Drone Regulations panel. Follow Autonomy Global under the Regulations tab under podcast. That's going to be coming up in a couple months with an article that accompanies that. But you're going to be on the Dawn of Autonomy next month talking about global ops.
Yeah, very, very, very fortunate. Get to share a bit of our experience helping customers spread their wings across multiple countries and sort of the challenges that come with that.
Yeah.
And how we've kind of worked with them to solve those problems. Because one of the things you learn with drone regulations, while it's all similar, there's enough differences to be painful.
True.
So it's how do you deal with those sort of variations in a really efficient manner? So, the large companies, when they want to roll out a drone program globally, they can do it efficiently.
No, that's awesome. And this is your first time here, I assume.
Yep.
So what is like the biggest thing that jumps out at you in terms of like what impressed you?
Yeah, so I think normally trade shows with drone in the name, you get lots of drone people, right? So manufacturers, providers, which is great for partnerships, right? But we're really looking for the end users, and that's what's different about this show.
100%.
The never seen anything like it before, to be honest. They're so open to discussing their problems and the challenges they're facing, right? And it's a bit of a stereotype in drone world where people don't like talking about those sort of things normally. So it's great and refreshing to have those conversations. So really impressed with the event.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about this year, but I know historically in years past, Chevron's brought like 50 people, like 50, and they're walking around, they're talking to people, so it is amazing.
And it goes to show the commitment of these companies, right?
To the technology.
Yeah, the other thing that's very noticeable is it's like serious now. It's part of day-to-day operations. It's becoming incredibly valuable to the companies.
Yeah.
And now they've got a taste. They don't want to lose that capability,
no, they
right?
want more. What's the new thing? What did you upgrade? What did you do this year?
Exactly. So.
Yeah, and that's a great segue. We got one of those companies here. Suncor Energy is going to come on up. But before we get them up, other than the Dawn of Autonomy next month where they're going to see you, how else can people learn more about Fly Freely?
Yeah, welcome to visit our website at flyfreely.io or connect with me on LinkedIn. Always happy to take a connection and have a conversation, particularly if you love regulations.
Nerd.
For my sins, I have to deal with a lot of the international regulations. Also part of the JARIS industry working group.
Nice.
So you get to participate in a lot of those events, which is really awesome and exciting.
That's awesome. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much.
No worries, thanks.
All right, very good. And we're going to swap out that mic with Tedman Jess from Suncor Energy. Now, if you missed the Dawn of Autonomy in May, we did dedicate the entire month to the theme of energy ops. And Suncor Energy sponsored that month, which we're very appreciative. Please have a seat. So, and Ted, by the way, also was part of Law Tech Connect on our big energy panel. That panel, by the way, is going to stream next month, I believe on Tuesday, July 11th at 9 a.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Eastern. So stay tuned. I'm going to get that up on the website on Autonomy Global. You can mark your calendar, sign up now to get that reminder. But it's an amazing panel. And Tedman, tell them about Suncor Energy and why are you coming to an event like this?
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for having me on, Dawn. I think that in the sphere of drones, this is specifically focused for companies like us.
Yeah.
And it's a great place to connect and to see what new technology is available.
Yeah, so this is your second year here.
This is my second year here,
and
yes.
so what would you say has changed from last year to this year?
I think it's actually more focused on some service providers as well as new platforms, which I'm really excited to see, especially some like the Scout DI. And I'm really happy to see some of our valued partners sharing their good work that they've been doing with us as well. So I think maybe throw a segue to the next guest, but like Osprey Integrity and Cortland, who was on the episode with me as well. He's been presenting the great work that he's been doing at the Colorado refinery. So.
Yeah, he's doing amazing work. So new acronym I learned, CUI, which is not controlled unclassified information, but in the military it is, but in this world it's corrosion under insulation. So CUI has a new meaning for a 3-letter acronym. Did a great presentation on that and some of the work he did with your team on some of your tanks there. So how can people learn more about Suncor, or how can they reach you?
Yeah, absolutely. So please visit suncor.com. That's SUNCOR.com. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Tedman Jess.
All right, very good. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Don.
The man with 2 first names. All right, he's moving on, and we are going to get we're going to get Osprey Integrity. I'm going to have, so I usually work with Cortland, and Cortland's on the stage right now doing some work, so introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Shelby with Osprey Integrity.
Shelby, okay. So tell them a little bit about Osprey and what you guys do.
So Osprey is a drone service provider. We do mostly oil and gas inspections on assets and sites, and we do a little bit of mapping and some geology stuff as well.
So as they say, niches make riches,
Yep.
and Osprey are like the experts when it comes to non-destructive testing, CUI,
Yep.
The acronym we just talked about, and all kinds of things. Now, from Canada,
Yes.
and so crossed the perilous border to get here. And so what do you think about the show?
I love the show. This is my first conference that I've been to. Everybody here is really great. There's lots of technology and lots of fun things going on, and everybody's great.
Yeah, so have you been able to watch any of the panels?
One yesterday.
And what did you learn?
I learned some pretty good things. Everybody's kind of having the same problem with data. So
Data. It's all about the data.
All the data, the cybersecurity, and all the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, cybersecurity.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see a lot of those firms here. I'm seeing AI on the floor.
Yep.
I'm seeing kind of integration or like workflow type people.
Yep.
Like in your booth, what's the company there?
TrendSpec.
TrendSpec.
Yes.
Really cool company.
Amazing.
Like beautiful reports that they're making with you guys.
Yep.
But not seeing the cybersecurity people, so hint, next year,
Yeah.
end of June, you might want to show up, right?
We would like to have you.
They'd love to have you, just saying. All right, so how do people learn more about Osprey Integrity and find you?
You can go to our website, ospreyintegrity.com. We're also all over LinkedIn and all the social media sites mostly, aside from Instagram. And yeah, we're just kind of all over the place.
All right, very good. Well, you are all over the place, but in a good way, and we love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Great to meet you as well. Thank you.
All right, we're going to get Hustleby from Synergy Aviation up here. Now, Synergy is a Volatus aerospace company. Craig was on our podcast not only last month for Energy Month, but in like I think a year in the past. So great to have you back, Craig.
Hey Don, how's it
And
going?
by the way, Craig is looking amazing. I just have to, we don't talk a lot about ourselves or our personal health. I know you've been on a journey, as have I, and you're looking amazing in a very positive way. And I'm sure, like, having the stamina to deal with this thing, like, it helps, right?
It's definitely a marathon.
It is. So you've been here before. Like, tell them a little bit about Synergy real quick.
Yeah.
And then tell us, like, what you're the most excited about from this show this year so far.
Yeah, so Synergy Aviation is like we primarily deal with manned aircraft for pipeline surveillance, asset integrity solutions, things like that. We're a Volatus company, and so Volatus Aerospace is here.
Giant booth, right when you walk in the door.
The big screen, right at the
big
beginning.
screen,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, so we do that's what brings me here. The energy part of energy drones and robotics is really what brings me to see this. It's very good for walking around and seeing this new technology and how it's advancing and how we're going to get to the next stage and the next level of things. So
yeah,
it's pretty exciting. This is out of the shows that I go to. This is every year. It's one of my favorites.
It is so like targeted. It's like, we know who we are. This is what we do, and we're sticking to what we do. And I love that about this show and what Sean does.
Here's the innovation that we're working on.
This is it. So, what are you the most excited about this year in terms of like what you're seeing on the floor?
It's great to see all the developments and how they're actually coming through. I mean, like when we talked on the Dawn of Autonomy a little while ago, one of the things that I've noticed over the past 3 or 4 years is the amount of adaptation and like acceptance of more like the autonomous things that we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's something that like you walk around here and you can feel the energy about that. So.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot more autonomy.
Yep.
We're seeing highly specialized sensors that we haven't seen before. So really exciting times indeed. Craig, how can people learn more about Synergy Aviation and reach out to you?
Yeah, for sure. So, VladisAerospace.com, SynergyAviation.ca, and you can find me on LinkedIn. And it's great. I really appreciate you having me.
Well, and another guy that came down from Canada, which we appreciate. And the next person we have is actually from Switzerland. So we've got Laurent Zimmerman. He is coming to us from Switzerland, Volero drone. I love this drone. Laurent was also on our Dawn of Autonomy for Energy Month with Cortland Pank from Osprey Integrity. You guys are like the dynamic duo in terms of you've got the drone, he makes use of it, doing amazing things. So you're all over this show, by the way. I mean, you know this. Like every other booth has a Volero T in it. Tell everybody about this drone and what it does.
Sure, thanks for having me, by the way.
Of
always
course.
A pleasure. So Volero is the creator of a drone, a very specific or very special drone that can get in touch with surfaces and objects. So we can apply pressure and force against an object, and this can be used to do contact-based inspection, but also beyond that, any kind of manipulation or work on an object. And we don't do this just horizontally, but we can literally do it in any direction because the drone can tilt up and down and do this from any angle that you can imagine.
It is super cool. It looks like it has a real long nose, and that's where the sensor goes. Now you have a newer PEC sensor. Tell people what that thing is.
All right, so it's called pulsed eddy current. It's also a non-destructive testing method, basically, that is used to detect corrosion under insulation. Corrosion under insulation is a huge challenge for the industry. There's so much insulated assets, and there's so many of them suffer from this corrosion under the insulation. And the tricky thing is really, if you want to detect that, you basically need to get a look behind the insulation. And of course, the conventional method is to just remove it, so you can get a look at the surface.
Which is time, money, and we're talking scaffolding or like cherry pickers or whatever they're using.
So instead of proactively removing that, the PEC sensor or pulse eddy current sensor basically gives you another tool in a workflow of doing before you remove it, so that you can pinpoint affected areas without just guessing and proactively removing, which is a huge advantage when it comes to time and efficiency and cost, of course.
Yeah, I mean, this is like just some of the things he's doing. For sure, follow Volero, watch that podcast and the article, go read it on Autonomy Global if you haven't checked that out. But like, this is, I met you, I feel like 3 years ago, 4 years ago here.
I think so.
For the first time.
Exactly.
So how do you feel this show has evolved over the last couple of years since you've been involved?
Yeah, so of course, this year, it's all about AI and data and how we bring all that data that all these robots collect and do something with it, which is great. And there's a lot of advancement there. But for me, as a hardware enthusiast, it's also great to see that there's so many different products, and we're not talking prototypes, but actual products elect robots, underwater ROVs, pressure washing drones, drones carrying any kinds of payloads that do actual work and provide that data to the AI, I think that part is equally exciting to us.
Yeah, it's really blossoming, I'd say, in terms of the industry. So how can people learn more about Valero? How can they reach you?
Of course, on our website, valero.com. Follow us on LinkedIn. That's where most or all of the news are being published, where you can see what's happening, what's coming next. Yeah, that's how you can follow us.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you, Don, for having me. It was a pleasure.
All right. Oh,
like
by the way, I
always.
didn't get to tell you, I'm going to Switzerland.
Oh, you are?
In November, so we need to talk.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Cool. GUTMA, the Global UTM Association, is having their Harmonized Skies in Zurich in early November, and I'm going.
All right.
So I want to visit some of my Swiss buddies while I'm out there.
You should.
Okay.
I'm counting
All
on
right.
you.
More to follow. Okay.
Right.
Thank you so much. We are going to get Thomas Jimenez, and we're going to end with Nate Ernst. I know Nate has been so patiently waiting, but you know what? Sometimes we save, I don't know, the best for last. I'm just sucking up right now because he's been pacing like, why the hell haven't I been on this show yet? So, Thomas.
Hi, Dawn.
Is with you Avionics. Now, if you didn't know that, you've probably seen him in other contexts. In fact, other contexts with me on other shows. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Every time I turn around, you Avionics has like something new that you've released. I mean, it's very hard to keep up. So tell them what's new with you Avionics. Then I want to really focus on the show.
Okay. So Avionics, we've been working a lot developing our ground-based DAA networks. So we're working heavily on the deployment of ADS-B sensors and building our federated network of ADS-B sensors in order to get that low-altitude ADS-B picture.
Yeah.
So we're working with partners in deploying them, and that's often with utilities, anyone who has large infrastructure, and then working with clients in order to have a really fast way to turn on ADS-B traffic overnight. So we can just pick out a particular area on the map, and we can have you getting low level traffic ADS-B overnight. So that deployment of the ADS-B network is something that we're working on very heavily, as well as our managed C2 networks as well.
Well, it's perfect time. I mean, what we're hearing, I don't know. I actually heard the FAA Part 108 NPRM Notice of Public Rulemaking might drop as early as next week. I kind of hope not, in a way. I mean, we've been waiting, but like selfishly, I'm going to be on vacation. And so like, I don't want this thing 1,000-pager dropping like when I'm trying to have fun with my family. So
it's some poolside reading.
Of course, I'm thinking 4th of July.
Okay.
Because it's always got to be a holiday. Like that is the thing. All right, so you're here at Energy Drone, a lot of critical infrastructure asset owners here. What's your interest in this show?
The reason that we like this show at Avionics is that a lot of our work aligns closely with utilities and oil and gas, where we're finding that particularly utilities are adopting UAS, and they've already had crewed aviation a lot. And as the adoption grows, the tools to manage that airspace and to plan that airspace correctly are becoming increasingly important on an enterprise level. So you're talking companies that are, you've got a lot of own ship aircraft, subcontracted aircraft, both crewed and uncrewed, and trying to get one single pane of glass or one single operating process for them all. That speaks very well to our suite of solutions. And so this is why this audience is great. We've had some really good conversations here with utilities, oil and gas companies, pipeline management companies. They're really good.
Awesome, very cool. So what's the neatest thing you've seen here? I just use like a 1970s word. What's so neat? What is neat?
Let's see. I've been doing a lot of being up in the panels.
Listening to those.
I was really impressed with what Harris Aerial have, their EFI drone.
EFI electric. Tell me.
It's a gas powered drone.
Oh, okay,
so
all right.
Harris Aerial's drone, it seems really...
So it's gas powered, so it goes farther.
That's right, gas powered, charges batteries.
Okay.
And then they've got tremendous range, so we're thinking that they would work very well with our C2 network, where we're working on C-band C2 and long range C2, so I think it could be really good. And, very impressed to see the drone.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's got a tiny little motor on it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And by the way, Christian Ramsey was on, from Avionics, was on the Dawn of Autonomy a couple months back in April for Safety Month, Safety and Standards Month. So go back and check that. It was a great show. Yeah. He talked about the Swiss cheese model of safety, and I love the article that we wrote about that. So check it out again. Great company. doing great things. Thank you so much, Thomas.
Thank
How
you,
can
Don.
people learn more about UAvionics or reach you?
uavionics.com, and find me on LinkedIn. I'm always checking it, so send me a message and then we'll go to email from there.
All right, sweet. Well, thank you
Don.
again.
Thank
All
you.
right, see you soon. All right, last but certainly not least, drum roll, please. We've got the man, the myth, the legend, Nate Ernst from Tachyon Group. Nate, by the way, is also an ambassador for energy for Autonomy Global, written some great articles about Section 44807 and how people are leveraging that for beyond visual line of sight right now until the new rule comes out.
Right.
You talked about 2209 and securing critical infrastructure. So what timely topics in light of everything bubbling out there on the regulatory front. But tell people a little bit about Tachyon Group, what it is that you do.
Sure. So, Dawn, first of all, thank you for the very nice introduction. It's very overstated, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, my name is Nate Ernst. I'm the founder and president of a company called the Tachyon Group. And so we are an assembly of subject matter experts that assimilate aerial technology for critical infrastructure. As different technologies come online, right, whether that be technological evolution or regulatory access, right, aircraft are getting larger, they're getting more complicated, they're getting certainly more technical, right, and so are the payloads that are used by those aircraft. Our job is to come into the utility and guide them in deciding what types of technology they should use, why they should use them, and most importantly, my most recent article is...
Which, by the way, came out yesterday
Awesome.
on
Thank you.
Autonomy Global, so check that out, Group 1, 2, 3. Which one should you pick?
Right, and it's all about the business case, right? So we talk about how there's a safety case for UAS, there's an environmental case, there is an efficiency case, but all of that boils down to really what is the business case? Why am I going to use one aircraft versus another? Why am I going to use a manned aircraft versus an unmanned aircraft or vice versa, right? It all comes down to the business case. So as experts, we come in, right, with the experience of being in the field using these types of aircraft and say, hey, this is your problem, this is how we would solve it, right?
Yeah. So you've been walking this floor. This is kind of your bread and butter, this show. You've been here many years.
Yep.
What do you think this year in terms of years past, like from a comparison standpoint?
Yeah, so I think the biggest takeaway this year is quite interesting. I don't know, this is the 6th or 7th EDRC?
Wow. Oh, this is the 9th.
This is the
Might
9th?
be your 6th or 7th.
No, it's definitely my 8th. Then.
Oh, then it's his 8th.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was just kidding. It's the 9th.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing this year is it's so interesting to see what the push is for the different types of technology or different pathways that people are taking.
Yeah.
For the past few years, especially in the beginning, it was all about data, remote sensing, data analytics, collecting data, right? And so data analytics and AI is still a big push, but the biggest thing I see this year is there's more physical applications with the drone actually interacting with the asset, right? So we just had the Valero folks here, right?
Yeah, that's right. Great
Their
example.
aircraft is touching assets, right, and measuring thickness of steel or doing ultrasonic testing.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, the one behind us.
No.
I mean, they literally built it so it could bump into things.
Exactly.
You know, and so yeah.
So now, remote sensing was a hot topic. It still is, but I think the physical interaction between the aircraft and the asset is the new push this year.
Interesting.
There's a company out here that I saw, Linebird, which is actually in the space.
Oh, I love what they do.
They just released 2 new products here at the show for their tool set where they're actually interacting with power lines, among other things. And then I'm actually looking across the hall right now, and it looks like there's a company that does chemical applications, spraying water or chemicals.
Oh, yeah. Apelix.
Apelix.
Yeah. Really cool.
So I think that's the big thing for me that I saw. Data is important, AI is important, but now they're actually physically interacting with assets.
Like touching, feeling, sensing, and gathering the data in that manner.
Yep.
Yeah, really, really cool.
Yep.
All right, awesome, man. How can people learn more about Tachyon Group or reach you?
Sure, so the Tachyon Group website is Tachyon, Tactien group.com. You can reach us there, learn more about what we do. That's probably the best way to get a hold of us.
All right, awesome, man. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you
for
Don.
your kindness and patience.
Absolutely.
I'm going to grab that mic from you.
Okay.
And for everybody else out there, that's all she wrote. The next place to be live will be with the Autonomy Global Network. We will be at the Drone and AAM Policy Symposium in Washington, D.C. In July. So look forward to seeing you all there. We are out here.